Welcome to the Free Cheese Game of the Year 2017, Day 3. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Mark Argostiniak, Ben Barris, Matt Zellner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. This is Game of the Year. We're on Day 3. 2 days in the books. Done. Today, Wednesday, December 27th, we're going to vote on 2017's 2016 Game of the Year. Best Remaster, Hottest Mess, Best DLC or Expansion, and Best Old Game that we played this year. Some good categories
it's
today.
It's going to be a fun day.
Yeah.
Hottest Mess is the one I was extremely looking forward to.
That's going to be a lot of
of EA in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of EA. Yeah. And I think I wrote, did I write Jim Ryan twice? I hope so.
Yes, you did.
All right, good.
Jim Ryan 2017 during first half.
Right, yeah.
Jim Ryan
Q1 Jim Ryan,
half.
Q2
Yeah.
Jim Ryan at the Gran Turismo. Anyway, we'll get to that one later on. We're going to jump right in here with 2017's 2016 Game of the Year. This is that game that we are still playing this year after having played it a bunch last year, or we just, we missed it. Yesterday we talked, or rather Monday, we talked about I'll play it next year in our day one, right?
The other end of that.
Yeah, it's the opposite of that. We didn't get to it, but hey, we got to it this year, and holy shit, wish we would have played it last year so it could have been part of the conversation.
I have a feeling next year's list for this is going to be much larger.
Yeah. But your nominees for 2017's 2016 Game of the Year: Hitman, Dead by Daylight, Ratchet and Clank, Recore, Overwatch.
I had trouble hearing all that. All I heard was Hitman.
Oh, let me try those again. Hitman, Hitman,
Yeah.
Hitman, Hitman,
Oh.
and Hitman.
All right. Well, let's at least find some
I
runners.
don't know.
Let's at least find some runners up here.
Yeah,
all right.
let's-
No.
Let's slow this down.
I really, yeah. I think, I don't know. I played a little bit of Overwatch, but I didn't fall in love with that game.
I already told you my thoughts on it before recording this. I have this really weird issue on PC. It's called I'm going to play Counter-Strike instead. So I played Overwatch, and I was like, wait a minute. I have a computer, keyboard, mouse. I already own Counter-Strike. What am I doing? And that was every time I played
And that's
Overwatch.
at a totally different app, too. You have to launch the BattleNet.
I know.
Like, that's
I know.
nowhere near close to go.
I know.
The only thing that Overwatch does for me is make me want to play Quake Champions.
Yeah.
But
Or Quake in general.
Overwatch is.
And then I just
just beat up
Overwatch
Quake
is the
Live.
slowest shooter I've ever played,
I don't know.
That's how I felt with it.
and I don't give a shit about payloads.
It's not a bad game.
There's other modes. I mean, yeah,
It's not for me.
But it's not a bad game. But there's better games.
Yeah.
I really enjoy Overwatch and the time I spent with it. I did not play it much this year because, well, Nick's been kind of AFK with the internet, that's usually my partner in crime in that game.
I see my friends play it, but they don't invite me because I don't play it anymore. I don't join them. So it's just.
So I think more that was the reason why I didn't really get to it much, if at all, this year. But I still really enjoy that game. Did you take that off?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Overwatch?
Yeah.
Are we leaving it on? You want it on there?
I was gonna say I could cut Ratchet and Clank.
All right.
I think it's.
Ratchet and Dank.
I definitely missed a train on Ratchet and Clank.
I never touched one.
Do you want me to leave Overwatch on?
I would say leave Overwatch on and get rid of Ratchet and Clank. Maybe.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, I
I
agree.
have played Overwatch this year.
Yeah.
I haven't played Ratchet and Clank, but
The thing with
I don't
Overwatch
feel
is
different
like
either way.
they're still pumping out like new maps. They're still doing new modes. I know
they're still doing new content.
Yeah, and like they do the events for the holidays. Like Halloween's always a popular one with Mercy.
It's a prime. Well, for me, it's a prime example of this game is probably a 10 out of 10, but it's just not for me. You know what I mean?
It's just it's just counterpicking.
Yeah.
The whole game is counterpicking.
I like that though. That's a personal thing though.
Ratchet and Clank won our I'll play it next year category from last year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play it at all.
I didn't play it.
I played it.
I saw the
To
movie.
completion?
Not to completion. All right, so I played that game at a very weird time. I had just been fresh off of Platinum and Bloodborne. and something needed to be the game after Bloodborne.
I need something cute.
So Ratchet and Clank was that game, and playing it, I was like, this isn't Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And I would just kept, thinking that the entire time. But like, I don't know, that was a return to form for that series. It's cool that they brought like
It is
actual
cool that they
Ratchet
brought
and Clank back instead of some weird like tower defense bullshit they've done in the past. It was really well done. I actually liked the rewriting they did to that because Ratchet and Clank are actually friends from the start of this game, unlike
don't they use
the original first game where they were like weirdly like enemies. They did not like each other for the first half.
What is it? Scenes from the movie.
Yeah, there was actually scenes from the movie.
There was a movie.
Yeah, I watched the movie.
Because it came out at the same time. Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, no, this was a budget game too. It wasn't 60, it was 40.
Yeah.
Which was nice. It was really charming. I was laughing. Just
You think leave it on the list or
How about, okay,
I think
why don't we compare that to Recore? Because Recore's still on the list.
Yeah, Recore is pretty cool, but
Is it Ratchet and Clank cool?
I don't know.
I mean, what you saw of Ratchet and Clank is Ratchet and Clank, and is that you've played a Ratchet and Clank game in the past, right? Like that charm, how those characters interact with each other. Like it's more of that. I think it's Captain Quark. Yeah,
Quark.
Yeah. It's him doing dumb shit and Ratchet and Clank making up for it. Like it's that game, and I don't know. Like I feel like Recore is his own thing.
I think Recore is pretty cool.
I think Recore is fresher. I will give it that. It does something new.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank is just kind of like return to form for that series.
But also, like, I don't know, Recore, it is the ultimate example of like old design sensibilities brought forward with new technology. Like it's very much, it feels like, I said it before, but like it feels like a PS2. I know that's such a like that gets thrown out there so often, so frequently, but it does feel like a PS2 game with an HD coat of paint. Like it's just, but not in a bad way.
Say, is that a bad thing or a good
no,
thing?
like it it felt like it sort of feels like going home, where you're like,
it's just like
it honestly
average game. Like it's not like outstanding, but it's not terrible either. It's just right there.
It felt like pre-internet in your pocket. I'm in Blockbuster. Oh right, I saw this game in a magazine a couple years back when it was first.
I missed those days.
What else? And you're looking behind all the game cases, and there's that one's sold out. That one looks dumb. You know what? I'll try Recore. I recognize that logo because the publishers. You know what I mean? Like there's something where you're like, yeah, I'll try it, and you go home and you have a really good weekend with it, and then that's it. That's the feeling I get from Recore. Which isn't a bad, like for me, it's actually a really good thing. I feel
I don't need something like Overwatch that just keeps expanding. I'm fine with like a one time 10-hour 8-hour experience.
Yeah.
I mean that's what Ratchet and Clank is going to end up being. I never finished it, but like I was most of the way through that game. I played it more than enough of that game to know what it was.
I say we leave Recore and Ratchet on the list.
All right, let's do.
I say we cut Overwatch just for that.
I don't care about cutting Overwatch. Like,
all right, if I'm the only one defending it, like I'm not gonna sit here and try to defend a game and then play it all this year.
Ben, talk about Dead by Daylight.
Oh, I played this too.
Yeah, Mark. So when you guys were talking, when we were talking yesterday or whatever fucking day it was, Friday 13th.
Yeah. It was yesterday. Best multiplayer.
The feeling you have for that, it's like the feeling I have for Dead by Daylight.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, because I've never played Friday the 13th, I know I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna wait until it's like $5 on Steam. Like
it's
definitely waiting a while for that one.
I know
it's definitely slower paced.
But I feel like Dead by Daylight's it's the quicker version.
Yeah,
because you guys are saying like sometimes rounds can be long.
The killer sprints.
Yeah, but in Dead by Daylight, there are those times when rounds do last a little longer than expected, but they're nowhere in like maybe 30 minutes tops, if that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like that game is like the quicker version. Like I was gonna say casual at first, but it does have a pretty in-depth like perk system and all that, which it goes real deep too.
And I think both games do.
Yeah,
in their own ways.
So I mean, I love Dead by Daylight. Like I told you guys the one time we were at my friend's house, and the one guy that was the killer had like the huge like PC gaming headphones, like the sound canceling ones. and everybody else was the survivor.
Hmm.
So like we weren't like shouting at each other. We were like just like normal tone voice, like all right, he's here, blah 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 blah. So like just that in general, like
that's
all in the
cool.
same room, like Saturday night, drinking way too much beer, like that's fucking gnarly.
That's pretty cool.
That's how you play those kind of games with friends. You never want to play it by yourself.
Yeah,
that's a game I wish I played more of.
Yeah.
And my friends still play it, but I miss the times when they're playing it. So it's just, but I really like it for what it is.
That's pretty much my argument for it.
And he plays Michael Myers, so that's my argument for it.
Yeah, and the monsters,
power walking,
the monsters in general. Like I'll probably talk about another one later, but there's the one when it's like the electrocutioner, and he like just fucks with like the game's UI, and he'll like put hallucinations in the map, or he'll like tase you, like he. Essentially, Scarecrow with like Raiden Scarecrow.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm in. Sold.
Yeah. Scraden, yeah.
Scraden.
Every time we talk about electricity, I'm just going to say Raiden. I hope you guys, So,
yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say about that.
All right.
Well, sounds like that's on the short list.
Yeah.
Like,
so
I understand that that's not going to
Ratchet.
be Game of the Year, but I will fight to the death if it's at least top 3.
Yeah.
That's going to be in the top 3.
So do we cut Ratchet or Recore? What do you think is the better experience?
Dude, a lot of people talk about Recore. I forgot it was a thing until you brought it up.
I mean,
they
you
don't.
Forgot Ratchet and Clank was a thing until I brought it up.
Whenever I think of Ratchet and Clank, I always think of the gun that makes everybody dance.
Oh, the Groovatron.
Yeah, they got a lot of cool weapons in that game.
Because I just remember the marketing for that, all the live action, like people testing out the different weapons.
Impactful, I would say Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet and Clank has that history behind it too.
I think I played that at a bad time. Some game had to be the game after Bloodborne.
Yeah.
So,
I gotta fill that void.
Yeah.
I mean, they both are cool.
So, someone has to live up to that disappointment, so it just happened to be that one. Unless you're really high on Recore, I don't know. I think I would. I've seen a little bit of Recore from what you showed me. I would rather play Ratchet and Clank if I was in the mood for that kind of game.
I think Recore is a really cool experience, and I like it, but I'm not particularly attached to it.
It's interesting because these are both.
They're
both
similar
start with
games.
R's.
And they're both exclusives.
Yeah, I know.
Exclusives.
They
They're
both
similar
start with an R.
games too. Like it's that single player third person action adventure.
Yeah, like I would see me playing probably more Ratchet than Recore just because it's the closest thing I would want to a Jack and Daxter fix.
Oh yeah. See, I don't know. I feel like I played that one Ratchet and Clank game, and then I kind of got it. Recore did some things that I hadn't seen before. Like there's different gameplay mechanics and different ways you kind of interact with the world by way of the controller. Combat is cool, like where you're pulling out the cores of people, and there's a nice weird like fishing mechanic to it.
Oh, that's cool. I feel like Recore's. I'm probably way wrong on this, but maybe it's a more mature version of Ratchet and Clank.
What's the level design like in Recore? Because I only saw that one segment. Is there like different like? Is it a lot of brown, or are there different like layouts?
Once you get inside, there's a lot of like color and nuance to the world, because the whole world, like the enemy combat system, is like based around your different, like their enemy types have different colors, so there's a lot of color coding in terms of that.
I mean, that's the one thing I would say Ratchet and Clank does well, is like the different worlds, and it's like, you know, you get your foresty one, your lava, like your volcano one. There's like a downtown like cyber city one that I've experienced. There's like a cool like space station where there's like a big battle that happens. Cool. So like I would say I really like the level design and like the art in that level design.
I'm happy we talked about Recore. That's fine.
I really don't. I don't care because we all know what the winner is.
It's on PC.
Yeah. Is it on PC?
Yeah. It just came out this year.
Really?
Microsoft, man.
Yep.
Put on both places.
Oh,
boom.
Okay.
So that means
we gotta pick a winner, right?
Well,
we already know
this is a tough decision. My vote's for Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. There you go. Hitman though.
Bring Overwatch back.
You know? Oh yeah. Cut Hitman. No, Hitman. We like completely missed the boat on that last year. It was not. We didn't talk about it. We didn't think about it. Nothing. And then this year,
it also came out super late last year, though, didn't it?
No, it was all year because it was like each episode.
Oh, it got delayed. That's never mind.
Yeah.
That was supposed to come out in 2015.
Right.
That's right.
But yeah, we totally missed that whole release window. And then this year, once they kind of once Square pushed them out the door and they went independent, IO Interactive made Hitman available, so anyone could just jump in and play the opening tutorial. And we like immediately like clung. It was just so good. Like the dumb physics of bodies falling when you hit them in the back of the head with a hammer.
Oh my god, my favorite of walking along a wall ledge and you're shimmying. It looks so dumb.
But just like we just got lost in that world and like trying to break everything. Like just how can we do this? How can we get through this? What weird thing can I find and throw at a man and see how he like?
And for those that don't know who are listening, like we have a whole series dedicated to this game. That's how much we love it.
Yeah, I don't think we've never done that with anything else. Like we don't stick with one thing very long. But yeah, and
there's different play styles of that game that are totally different. Like the way Joe approaches a level is totally different than the way I'm going to approach
what many
a level.
would say is the right way to do it.
Or when I approach a level, the game doesn't want me to do it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Poor Mark. Game breaks.
Or if the game lets you do it, then the recording equipment doesn't let you.
Did you guys play the original Hitman games?
I've dabbled in them.
Yeah.
I didn't play them extensively.
I don't know which one I played, but it was on GameCube.
I watched that Timothy Oliphant movie.
Ooh.
I did too.
Yeah.
I didn't watch
That's
the
not
other
the way
one.
to experience
I
it.
don't know.
Oh yeah, there was a movie on it.
Two movies.
There's 2 movies.
Sorry.
I think the newer one's meant to be better, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. But no, Hitman is just like it's such a good experience. Like it's just
and like I feel like this is the best iteration of that game and that franchise because the other ones are very, very like they're just like this, but they're not as forgiving.
Yeah.
Like this one, it gives you some leeway into things. And things are a little bit easier to get by people. This is the perfect Hitman.
And I think ultimately, like I know, like for the listener, like we at the top of this category, like immediately jumped to that winning this category. But honestly, had we played this last year, our conversation a year ago would have been much different.
Yeah.
I don't think that it. I think Doom still is and always will be that I stand behind that.
Top 5 looks different though.
But that top 5, some things would get shuffled around. Hitman would have been in there for sure.
Wait, was Doom last year?
Yeah.
I thought that.
But we, the 3 of us, already voted it as Game of the Year last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would kind of be unfair to.
Yeah, I know, but.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Don't worry, Ben. It won.
It won.
No,
it won.
I know.
It was just last year.
I can see why. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
but if you all did it.
I know.
It
No,
would be,
my God.
Yeah.
No, and this is really that category for like that thing we missed, and Hitman is totally that thing we missed that deserved to be talked about.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's cool. Yeah. I'm gonna have to start playing this game. Maybe I'll join y'all.
Oh yeah, you're
gonna have a good time in this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give Mark another perspective in his ear.
So 2017's 2016 Game of the Year, Hitman, with runners-up Dead by Daylight and Ratchet and Clank. Cool. We're going to move into I'll Buy It Again, or Best Remaster. So your Best Remaster nominees are The Nonary Games, Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Metroid Samus Returns, and Ultra Street Fighter 2 The Final Challengers. Another short list. I'm good with that, though.
Did anybody play Street Fighter?
I own it.
Yeah. How do you feel about that one?
It can honestly get cut because it's not doing anything new. It's using the same assets from the Xbox 360 HD remix.
Which is a great version.
The only difference is that they added 2 new characters.
But I mean, like in terms of a complete package, like this is the.
I mean, like there's cool art. You can change the menu and stuff. They added that first-person mode, whatever, with motion controls.
Oh yeah, that's the best part, right?
Yeah.
It's your favorite.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was good.
Yeah. I believe I believe we have a video on it.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, compared to the other stuff on here, that one seems like it took the least effort.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I'm not
But
gonna.
you got Evil Ryu and Evil Ken, right?
Yeah, Violent Ken. I was happy to get Violent Ken finally, but that's not enough to make
that
it win.
and the pseudo VR thing. Good times.
Yeah. That's. Please cut it.
Please, Yuri it.
Oof. Let's talk about the Nonary games.
Okay. So I think more specifically for this, even though both games are technically remastered for like PC and PS4 and Vita or whatever, I'm more impressed by 999. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors.
Are these sold together or are they
Yes.
separate? Okay.
It's
It's a package thing.
It's 2 games in one.
Oh, but all right, then
I
that's
thought it was
fine.
3. I thought it gave you all 3.
No.
So which one's 99999?
The very first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. It's
Nines.
What it's called 9999999.
It's 9s. Yep.
Yeah,
9s.
But that one to me is the most impressive remaster out of the 2.
Okay.
Coming from an old DS, like regular DS
Yeah.
game, where it's like everything is sprite based, the backgrounds are very limited with quality. It's just, little text that you have to constantly go through on a tiny screen. This is completely remastered, hand-drawn artwork now. The mouth movements are there, the like different facial expressions, full voice acting for the entire cast. And it's really good. It's not just like crappy, like forced. Like it's like usually sometimes American voices for Japanese games don't go so well with certain games. This one was on point. And just the backgrounds and everything. I was very impressed from what I was seeing compared to what it is now. I mean, it's not. I guess it's probably not too hard to just draw 2D images as to making like something from the ground up for like 3D models or something. But to me, if like that was probably the closest thing to, I guess, basically just like playing an anime, and I was just kind of impressed by that.
Well, the DS version it had certain 3D parts. I remember looking at the screen.
Oh yeah,
right?
so, like, I mean, like,
Like
it's all
simple
it's all
models
it's
and
all like
whatnot.
point and click, and you
Yeah.
go through the rooms to
Yeah.
like solve puzzles and whatever, and like even so in this, it's still like point and click. You're not virtually walking around.
Yeah.
But for like a visual novel that it kind of is, yeah, I was really impressed by it.
Crash Bandicoot,
I didn't play
the
it.
Insane Trilogy.
Dude, Crash is back.
See, I'm excited. Crash is back. I just didn't play it. That's gonna be a $10 GameStop bin purchase for me.
I think any. I don't know. You were gonna be waiting a while for that one too. You're waiting for Friday the 13th. That thing was still in the top 10 in like Europe for like the longest times. Games sold. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
This game. Oh my god. So I think anyone who listens to the podcast knows my love and excitement of Crash Bandicoot and going into this whole game. And boy, did it deliver. I did not touch every game in the actual trilogy. I never really got to play too much. I spent most of my time in Warped. So much so that I now own the Platinum Trophy in Crash Bandicoot Warped.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that game, well, first of all, we didn't even deserve having that game. I'm still shocked that we still have it. But then too, like, it paid tribute like very well to the old style games. I think all the uprising, I think it looks good. Like at first I looked at it and I thought Crash looked dumb, but no,
Once you're in it,
I like his model.
Okay.
And I like the fact that you can play as oh my god, what's her name?
Coco,
that's it. Yeah, I like that you can play as Coco now at any time. You don't have to be Crash.
All 3 games use the third game's engine, right?
Correct. So yeah, there's that small little thing, and it's small.
No, I didn't know if that was a good or bad thing. I just knew that was a thing.
That yes, it was a thing, and there was some difficulty with some of the harder levels in 1 because 1's levels were designed on 1's engine. Now, when you try to put 3's engine into 1, the jump in is slightly off, so those precise jumps that you may
It
have
is
a
tough.
tiny bit of wiggle room. Now you have even less wiggle room, and you had to be precise. I think the high road is everyone's favorite level in number 1. That's what you refer to most. But no, I mean, look, the physics and stuff of that game were, I think, done very well. I think it looked pretty. It was very nice seeing all these characters that are blocky now on most TVs come to life in high-res pictures.
I kind of liked in that little intro where he gets put through the machine to get like HD'd or whatever. I kind of like the
fun
old,
seeing
like
it for
the
the
low
first
poly
time.
version of them.
It's
That'd be a
definitely
cool
fun
option.
seeing it the first time. Not every time you boot that game up.
No,
though.
yeah. So they never update that?
I haven't been back. Maybe if they updated it. I never played that DLC level either. But yeah, I just enjoyed being back in that world. I think the like I said, the graphical upgrade to it looks good.
It was well received.
It plays very well. It plays like you said. Like the Crash, I remember Crash 3 the most, and when I went back and played this one, it felt just like Crash 3 from what I remember.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah. Then the degree of difficulty is still there, and like that, like it seems weird, but that gameplay still holds up today, which is odd, I think, for PS1 to PS4. Like it's hard. It's still, it's Crash Bandicoot, but yeah, I enjoy my time at that game. And yeah.
I think too it
Awesome.
did a good thing to kind of like revive interest in that character, and potentially pave way for a future.
I think we're gonna see a new one.
Yeah,
I'd be happy for that. I mean, in all seriousness, I will buy and play this game because, like, 3 is the one I remember most playing as a kid, and like that game was the shit. So, I mean, if it compares to that, then I'm gonna.
And it's just that like Crash has that weird humor. I like the dumb little animation of Coco. Like, so if you stand like still long enough, Coco, like they'll do their different animations. Like Crash does a little dance or whatever. There's one where like Coco pops out like a laptop. She sits down. If you zoom in on the image of the laptop, it's actually the Crash Bandicoot Reddit page.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
there's like little stuff like that to pay tribute. But playing that game was a lot of fun and a nice blast from the past. And which I think a remaster, should be.
Yeah. Very good. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is
very pretty.
It is. I think that's the next one that gets cut. That game runs in 1080p 60 frames a second, which I'm never the one to need those boxes checked, but
Don't start.
Damn, does it make a difference? No, it really makes a difference.
Because once you go down that hole, you don't look back.
Yeah. Like that game, like I played so much of that game on Wii U, and then having it on Switch now, in that way, you're just like, what the like it's so smooth, and it looks it already like what Nintendo was able to do on the Wii U was so impressive, but this just takes that up again. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much more to say.
I feel like it's in terms of like remastering. I don't think it had that far to go.
Right.
Compared to the other ones.
And so you two played it extensively on your Wii U's. I did not. Like going into that, the one thing that bothered me, and I totally get why they did this.
I don't own it on Wii U. I've played more on Switch.
Oh, nice.
My friends have it, and I played it on their Wii U.
I'm still waking up, so I'm just making dumb faces.
Yeah, the one thing that kind of bothered me, and I'm probably in the niche audience here, was everything was kind of unlocked from the start. So there was no reason for me to go through and play the cups. Because part of the fun in
you still
playing
unlock parts for the car.
I would have liked to unlock a racer.
That is part
unlock
of the
a racer, or go through
tracks.
and get the
I'm
get
actually
the
okay.
track, the tours. But like I said, I think I'm in a niche thing there just because I'm the new player coming to it from Switch. And then it's used to having that in a card game.
kind of like for me. I think the problem is like I had nothing to work toward. And that's why I dropped off that game so quickly. Is like
that was just less stress for me because when you just want to play with friends, that's all people really do with it. You just want to get right to the point and just play the game.
That's fair, but then the tail of it dropped off. Like I haven't touched that game in
that's true
months.
And I know 200cc was in the Wii U version as free DLC, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was the cool thing is like they took all of the DLC that was in the Wii U stuff and just kind of dumped it all in here.
That's
Battle
cool.
mode was pretty fun.
Battle mode was
the addition
dope.
of battle mode.
Like this was it is a very, very complete package. If you're looking for Mario Kart, like I don't see where it goes from here. I mean, I honestly would love to see
F-Zero.
I know
where it goes.
I would love to see Super Smash Kart where they just start pulling in all the characters. They already brought in Link. They brought in Isabelle.
That was a good choice.
Who else? There's other Villager,
Inklings.
Inkling. Yeah, like do that. Just go all in.
Super Smash Kart.
Yeah, you call it Mario Kart. That's fine. I don't care. Just let me play as Samus. Let me have her car. Let me play as Star Fox.
Yeah.
Let me
Did
throw a barrel
you
roll.
want to play as Samus's car?
Yeah.
There's a game. It's called Rocket League on Switch.
Is the ball a shell that I throw at friends?
Give it time.
Speaking of Samus, Metroid Samus Returns, I think, stays on this list because that game is nothing if it's not a remaster.
Yeah.
I mean, like from the ground up, that game is, a reimagining of Samus or the Return of Samus, Metroid 2. It's good. Like when we first saw it, it's really hard to show 3DS games on a stream or anything else. So when we first saw it, I was like, not really the art style I would have gone for, but okay. And then, Mercury Steam. But then it turned out really, really well. Like, that game played well, felt well. In motion, it looks great on the actual hardware. Even though, I don't leave 3D on just because, I don't know. It's cool to look at, but then you're like, okay, I'm just going to play the fucking game.
Yeah.
But it looked, the 3D had that really great diorama effect that I think when you do that well, when developers do it well in 3DS, it just adds a level of immersion that I think top to bottom, if we're talking remaster, like, I think, Metroid makes sense.
When we had the Game Club, this was actually, I think this was one I picked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I played the original Game Boy one, and I only saw videos for this one, and I can like already tell that like, it's like, I'm not sure remaster is even the proper word for it, but I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, it's like a reimagining.
Yeah.
And I thought that's pretty impressive. Like I like the melee attack that she can do now.
Yeah.
Just the way she fights, the way she looks, the traversing through it. I mean,
it brought Samus to a new depth.
Yeah.
It did like what it needed to be done, if that makes sense. It's a weird thing to say, but
I think that one. I feel like that one went the furthest.
Yeah.
When it comes to recreation.
Yeah. Like it was like, what makes sense to bring this game into 2017? Because that game was like 92 or something like that, or 90 even. It was very, very old.
Just from like a basic Game Boy 1 palette.
Yeah, and you think about what Game Boy games are, and it was like, all right, how do we do that?
And it's not like you're taking, because I feel like these other two games, they take an engine that was pre-existing, if I'm correct, and then make it better, that's fine too. Like, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But like, you can't really do that with Metroid.
Yeah, this, I don't know.
I mean, I guess you could, but why would you? Because
it'd be a data game. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, like, why would you limit yourself with a Game Boy?
Yeah, exactly. No.
So we got our top three: the Nonary games, Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, and Metroid: Samus Returns. Where do we stand on a winner?
I would.
Crash just has a special place in my heart.
Do you feel of the three, it's the strongest?
From what I played of Metroid, yes, I enjoyed playing Crash a lot more than Metroid. I did not play the Nonary games. They're probably not games that I would like go to, so I can't really speak to that.
Oh, but you love Danganronpa.
I did love Danganronpa.
I think you'd really like it.
Like,
yeah,
999 like really opened my mind to this.
Okay.
Not only this genre, but like I really love that kind of story, and just that series is it's. I mean, it's honestly, it went in a weird direction, and I prefer the 2D to the 3D. So that's kind of hard to like go through now, and like by the time it gets to the third game, like characters don't act like they did before. It's like they just forgot everything. So it's like the consistency isn't really there. So that's like I really appreciate 999 over the other two.
But in terms of like presenting a package again,
I think either Crash or Metroid.
I have no problem with any of these games winning this. At this point, honestly,
I vote Metroid.
I'm gonna.
Because I think the cool thing about Crash is that like they made an engine and like kind of perfected it after two other games, and it worked. It lasted even up to today. So it's like, if it ain't broken, why fix it?
True.
So like, and like I never played the Crash games, so I never really dove into that. Like I missed that train, just being a Nintendo. And so I think I think that shows what kind of like quality that game is, like how it's kind of timeless in a way.
I didn't expect that game to be as good as it was either, coming from Activision and I forget the developer of the studio.
Vicarious Visions.
Yeah. That game had no business being as good as it was, and them putting in the level of dedication and care into that.
I think I could say the same for Metroid, because it was like
that's true.
Mercury Steam has a fucking terrible track record.
I know I put it as most disappointing was Metroid, but it wasn't the game itself. It was just the fact that it wasn't.
Your expectations were different.
Yeah.
I think when we put stuff in most disappointing, it's because we care about it so much.
Yeah.
And then when it doesn't go a certain way, it's just
like, oh shit.
I would.
I could see the vote for Crash or Metroid.
I would say
if you think the non-area, if you're not pushing the non-area
I'm
games,
not. I'm
Crash
fine,
or Metroid.
I runner up.
Crash and Metroid are like either one.
See, it's tricky because both of these games were wanted. Like I said,
yeah.
Well, I can't remember, I'm getting all the days mixed up, but everybody wanted a 2D Metroid.
Yeah.
And they gave it to us. Everybody wanted to see Crash Bandicoot on a fucking screen again.
Yeah.
And we got it. So these two games we wanted, but like,
and they both like with all the hype, they both delivered.
They both delivered. Yeah, they're both great games.
Is, like great.
And they both, I guess, would have a fourth one on the way.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Samus Returns totally at the end. It's like, hey, y'all like Fusion? It's pretty. Yeah.
Maybe that'll be my. Greatest happiness.
I don't know if they're gonna, because that was the original pitch from Mercury Steam was like, hi Nintendo, we want to remake Fusion, and they did all this work to do that. And they were like, well, actually, we want to remake Metroid 2. So they did that instead. But the end of this is like, they show what's the little like green blobby things from Fusion, like one of those
boogers.
Yeah, the boogers. Yeah. One of the boogers flies by.
Oh, they are boogers.
And you're like, oh shit.
Oh, boy.
So yeah.
I would. Yeah, I would be extremely happy if that happened.
Yeah. But I think Crash is going to lead to a fourth. Well, I guess it'd be like a ninth, but yeah, some sort of game.
Yeah, like I'm not sure what is the splitting hair, or whatever you call it. Like, what's the?
I don't know, you want to flip a coin on here?
I mean, these are honestly,
because like I guess
are half and half.
I mean, everything's personal preference when you boil it down. And if it was for me, when it comes to like play style and everything, I'm more akin to Metroid.
I guess technically I can't speak to the whole package because I didn't really touch 2.
Well, I think too, like I think also, just to vote in Samus's favor, like it wasn't just here's this game polished up. I'm not saying that's what Crash is, but this was Metroid Samus Returns is like, how does this how does this make sense in today's world? How does this game change? And they did make changes to that world. They added some modern sensibilities to it from a Metroid perspective, like, hey, what things have we done in that series that need to be added, like a fucking map.
If that game didn't have a map, I would have just
play the first one, dude.
Yeah,
play the first one.
Oh, you mean
Game Boy?
Trying to find blocks that you can blow up and go into on that limited palette.
Ooh, rough.
You mean the Samus zoomed up version?
Yeah.
Thanks.
But I think that and like her melee ability, her
Metroid's definitely the most uniquely redesigned here out of the 3.
But Crash Bandicoot, you also get 3 fucking games.
Yeah,
in one,
like
which is dude.
True.
You get a whole squad with Crash.
Yeah.
You get warped. You get warped.
Yeah.
That's it. Like the best one.
Nostalgia Wars here.
All right, we gotta call it.
Literally, I would flip a coin for that.
What's all right? I say we don't normally do majority rules, but let's do majority rules. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
Crash.
Yeah, Metroid.
Do me last.
I'm sorry not to say Metroid.
Don't say sorry.
I feel bad. I like them both. They're both.
So I was gonna say Crash.
Yes. Flip a coin. Flip a coin.
All right.
Flip a coin.
What are we saying?
I'm sorry, it's got to be down to this.
Heads, Crash. Tails, Metroid.
You want to just flip my phone?
Heads or tails?
Here, I'll flip the bottle if it lands.
She said it's heads. What was heads?
Crash.
All right, Crash.
Crash
wins.
it is.
Best remaster.
Okay.
With a very, very close follow-up by Metroid.
Yeah.
Honestly, if all of the listings there
Wait, why don't we just make them both win?
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fair.
Because then that'll open up a whole gate of like let's let these other.
Why don't we
ones
just do the
start
top
winning.
3?
But we were literally split down the middle.
Yeah.
I would be
True.
fine with that.
All right. One exception.
This is the one category.
Yeah.
We're not doing this for any other shit. Okay. But like, we cannot come to a decision between the two. So I say they both
If
win.
only one came out another time.
Yeah.
Like
I think-
last year.
Yeah.
Right.
I think what Crash is going for it is the platform.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it.
Here we
Best
go.
remaster goes to
Good job, guys.
Crash Bandicoot: The Insane
did
Trilogy
it.
and Metroid: Samus
did it.
Returns, with runner-up the Nonary games.
So we're gonna have 5 Game of the Years now.
I can't wait to
Great.
play the Nonary games. I'm really excited to play those.
That's going to bring us into Hottest Mess, which is a debut category for us. Your nominees for Hottest Mess. So this is the thing that's just, Ben's doing it right now. Just shaking your goddamn head. Hottest mess. Star Wars Battlefront 2. EA unacquiring Visceral. Jim fucking Ryan. Mass Effect Andromeda. The Virtual Console.
Oh, I didn't see this next one. Oh, God.
The Nintendo Switch Online app. Hackers in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. NeoGAF. PewDiePie. And, quote, fuck you, Oscars, end quote.
It's a fresh one.
We're having a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah. All right, let's
Let's trim the list.
Yeah, so where's the weakest link here?
I'm down to get PewDiePie off because I just can't fucking stand him.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad fucking mess.
Yeah.
Like, I know I don't want to give him any sort of
That's
glory
a mess
at all.
in his own. Yeah.
But I don't know that
You
he
say
deserves
a
to
bad
be
word
cut.
once,
What?
and then but you apologize,
Yeah.
and then you say it.
The thing is,
second
here
time.
is like compared to these other ones, he doesn't really affect how we play video games.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It's true. I still think it's a fucking joke. Like, I don't know. Like,
exactly. So it's like that's
no, but I mean, like, it's just there's so many people that, I mean, kids that I think he has a big impact in a way that we're not going to necessarily see.
yeah. That's
But
true.
I don't know.
And I'm okay with
And
it.
like I don't know.
He does too. Maybe a younger psyche.
That's the thing. Like, I am the way I am because of Matt Stone and Trey Parker, and thankfully
which
they're
also-
not
which also-
monsters.
Right. But it's also a choice. You're letting that.
True, but like I don't know. You know, if I'm young and impressionable and I'm looking for
I'm gonna say
someone to
maybe
look
like
up to,
outside of that, like someone like parents of these kids that are watching that, like that this is a streamer they see, and they see this guy
Right.
doing this shit, and they're like, oh well, fuck all these other streamers. My kid's like not watching that. He's not getting involved in video games. Like him being the front or the top of like the streamers and YouTube like channels and stuff like that. Like him doing what he did, like it puts a bad image on it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it was one of the bigger ones at the time. But now there's like so.
There's been a
many.
fall to grace for him,
I
but
mean,
you
yeah.
still look at his views; they're still up there.
Well, of course, but
And he's on a South Park episode.
do you think he's the hottest mess of 2017?
I have to look at. I mean,
No.
this whole list. No, he's
No.
just
All right.
like
on a
yeah.
personal level. No.
All right, personally, no.
Oh,
He's a
yeah.
terrible person. But
So wait, how
For
are
free cheese, no.
so? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is this like
I guess I mean I don't whatever.
free cheese hottest mess? Or are we actually looking at this and saying gaming? Is,
No, this is I mean it's all through our lens. So like,
Okay.
what's the one that we're like, man, just
Okay.
fuck you.
Well, then yeah, get PewDiePie off. Fuck
All right.
him.
He's not the first or the last.
All right. The
Seriously.
fuck you Oscars actually, like when you look at these, isn't like
That's
a
funny.
mess.
It's pretty
It's
tame.
funny.
Yeah.
But it's just like
That guy's a cunt
poor
too.
Jeff Keighley's trying to get going on a thing.
Yeah. Just you're a fucking joke.
He's
stop.
that guy is overly passionate and needs a little self control.
Yeah.
But
I-
other than that, I don't think he did much harm outside of that. 'Cause,
I
like,
think that's
ill-fate.
yeah, but you know what? That's the Chick Hydra Man of this year. Like that's the one thing where you look at that show and you go, "Got it. Yup, video
Yeah.
games are
The
a very
Shit
young
Hydra Man
industry."
was
Yeah, but,
awesomely bad.
But there's also 2 letters in the alphabet that do worse than him
Yeah, I know.
for longer.
Wait, what? Oh, gotcha. EA.
Yeah.
No, I think the one thing I'll say about that guy
But
and
that
just
was a
and I'll
mess.
leave it at that is, there's no industry that is without its bullshit, as we saw with the whole movie industry this year.
At
but-
least that's. Yeah, keep that. Keep that out of our.
Well, I'm
yeah.
sure it's in our industry
If it's
too.
there, I don't want to like just.
I know.
Yeah,
But
please.
but I mean, like those shows, like the fact that he said "fuck you, Oscars,"
It's like he was trying to be positive by supporting game awards and showing the appreciation for them,
But
but
by
at the
doing
same time,
so, he
you're
reduced it.
yeah, like you're being negative towards another party,
yeah,
and that's just not a respectful
Which
way to
didn't
go
need
about it.
because
Yeah.
like 99.9% of the people watching this, who fuck cares about the Oscars?
right. We know that.
It's like we get it.
Like that's something he
You
should
really?
be saying backstage.
You're the
people drinking
1%.
off camera. Like
Yeah. yeah.
Not as much anymore, but back like in college,
well,
yeah.
you do agree. Like the majority of the people watching that, it's like
It's fucking boring.
whatever,
Yeah.
cool.
I just like to drink champagne while
Yeah.
watching.
nice opinion.
Pinky
dude.
out.
I say we cut Virtual Console.
I was gonna say that. Yep.
It's a disappointment that it's not here, but I mean,
It's
Look
not
at the
the
rest of
hottest
that.
mess.
I think it would be a topic had it launched and not been something.
Right.
Right. Like
Mhm.
if something bad had happened.
want to say next off, I think getting cut is hackers and PUBG.
I already have my cursor over it.
I was never affected by what at least me personally, I don't think I was ever affected by it. I'm still able to play that game. You just played it earlier this morning.
Yeah, I think it's a mess, but I don't think it's.
It redeemed itself though.
It sucked.
Yeah,
but it's one of those things. Like once it's over with, it's just like.
Whatever. That was a moment.
Yeah,
that happened.
The thing
is
that
life came swooping in.
That pretty much got taken care of.
Yeah.
So like, there's resolve.
And there's not like a footprint still in that game. Like there's not like a statue of a hacker being like, "Oh God, the dark days." But like, there's whatever. I'm over it.
It was a bad week for that game. That's all. And because that game's so popular, it got blown up.
I was all right. Here's my brain went. I was about to cut Jim Ryan. And then I remembered everything that motherfucker said this year. And I don't want to cut Jim Ryan just yet.
Okay, do you want to talk about Jim Ryan or do you want to wait?
Let's talk about Jim Ryan because I think he's on my chopping block.
So there's two major things.
Okay, so for people who don't know anything about Jim Ryan,
he's a motherfucker.
What is his role? What did he say?
All right, Jim Ryan works for PlayStation. He is over on the European side of things, or what do they call it over there?
Weirdos.
No.
Kidding.
No, they're PlayStation Europe. That's their technical thing, right?
I think so. Yeah,
probably.
A lot of companies do that.
Or Sony.
Sony
I think they're like Sony Interactive Entertainment of Europe, something like that. Jim Ryan is their. I'm trying to find his exact. He's the head of global sales and marketing at Sony International Entertainment. So he kind of transcends the European market. Right. He is over there. I believe he did used to be under like PlayStation of Europe, but he's now, boom. He's just had a lot of things this year. In terms of, I think the main things that I think, just come on, dude, were his comments on backwards compatibility.
That's my main one.
That's a really big one, and then his comments on crossplay. So I'm going to paraphrase, but we'll start with backwards compatibility. I think that was the first one where it was really like, huh?
You know what I just thought of? Why that was the dumbest fucking thing you could ever say as a Sony person?
Yeah.
Remember the PS2? One of its main selling points was, hey, PlayStation. You can even use the fucking PlayStation controllers. Like,
yeah,
that was like one of the biggest selling points of it. I remember that.
Yeah. So he said, what's his? I'll give you an exact quote. It's one of those features that is much requested but not actually much used. And there was some market data to kind of back that up and say that I think it was like 2% of Xbox One owners were actually using it to play Xbox 360 games. Now, when those figures were made, I don't know if that number's changed at all. I don't know what that looks like.
It was like, was that at the time when like there was a big list for Xbox to like play?
This was earlier this year, like when that 360 backwards compatibility stuff first started rolling out and everything. Mm-hmm. This is right after Black Ops 3. Whatever one hit backwards compatibility, and it like all of a sudden re-entered NPD for that month.
I don't think it was. I think it was one of the first two, actually.
Maybe. I think it was Black Ops. I thought,
but
just Black Ops. Yeah,
I think the first Black Ops is fun.
And like I feel like he could have said the same thing, but instead of saying Xbox, he'd be like, "Oh well, look how many people did backwards compatibility on the PS3." And it's like there was like 5 versions.
I know.
Like only one could really do it.
So that was the $600 one too.
Is that the grill?
$599 US.
Yeah.
2 jobs. You're gonna get 2 jobs.
But
yeah, that's stupid.
This is the quote. This is the exact quote. When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, I can say it is one of those features that is much requested but not actually used much. That, and I was at a Gran Turismo event recently where they had PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. And the PS1 and the PS2 games, they looked ancient. Like, why would anybody play this?
Oh, my God. See, that's the part that, like...
That part right there is like, you are in charge. You're an executive.
Yeah, like, he's out of sync.
And that you're not lining up with where people are. I understand, like, moving things forward. But I also believe incredibly in like preserving history and keeping that stuff very much alive.
You can't be all business. You have to. Has to be some heart there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like if you think about, there's things that are done because it's what's supposed to be done. Like, if you look at like, I don't know, accessibility features on.
He just sounds like he doesn't really play video games. If he does, he's only in the moment.
I'm not gonna like his specific example about Gran Turismo. Like, yeah, of course, PS4 Gran Turismo looks better than PS1 Gran Turismo. But yes,
it's like a 20-year difference.
Right,
calm down.
It does look ancient, correct?
Yeah.
But why would anybody play this? I don't know, because that game it gave me a full roster of cars and not stuff that was locked. But like, there's so many things that have changed now anyway. Like, and also like, I want to see where it's come from. I want to, you know what I mean? Like, if I've never, Gran Turismo maybe not, right? But I should be able to, right in tandem with playing Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, I should be able to play those 3 games on my PS4.
Because you know what the alternative is? Especially now buying retro games.
Fucking piracy.
Not just that. If you want to buy a certain game that could be reported or whatever,
right?
Some of them jump up to like $100.
Yeah.
I'm not spending that kind of fucking money just to play a game, which jumps to piracy. So it's like
no, and I mean like I've been rediscovering so many things in the last decade, rediscovering or discovering things I'd never thought to play because of the way that it's been opened up. Like.
Yeah, like it probably looks ancient, but like in a bad way to him, but it could look ancient in a good way to someone else, or just look good in general. Like it's all subjective. Like that's just his opinion. I mean,
exactly.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure most people could agree that the graphics do look different. They look dated, but it doesn't mean it's a bad game.
Yeah.
Either way, like when you look at something like the Steam Marketplace right now, or good old games, or I guess just GOG now, right? But all that stuff, like they are past being a marketplace, they're a preservation effort.
The problem is that he made a blanket statement by using one game.
Yeah.
Right.
He could have just said the first half of that sentence or statement, and he would have been okay. But
even
when
then,
he brought
it
in,
doesn't like make sense because it's like, oh, it's most requested but not really used. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. If it's not really used, then it's because we don't have the option.
Yeah.
I just think
Hence
that's
the request.
I think it's a fucking mess, and I don't know. It right there. It kind of told me a lot about where Sony is as a company right now, and it feels very much like the end of the PS2.
We have PlayStation now.
And yeah, well, but he didn't even go there, right? Like I would, if he were up there as an executive saying like, yeah, we're not going to do that, but hey, we have PlayStation now.
Yeah,
like,
you want to direct them to something that already fucking exists.
He's not doing that. He's just saying, no, you're wrong for wanting to play that, and like, fuck you. I'm not. That part I think sucks.
Yeah.
And it again, like, it harkens back to the hubris days of PS2.
Is that the word ebb and flow with Sony?
Yeah.
There really is like a fucking wave of it. Like E3 when PS4 was announced and they said, hey, here's how you play used games. And they started passing it off. And everybody was doing front flips and pre-ordered it. And now it's like...
Yeah, they were supposed to like have that giant like library or whatever.
They brought in like all of the indie game, like they were this huge shepherd for that kind of stuff, and like
that indie game. I forgot about the indie game push.
I think the tide underneath of all of this stuff, right, or what the tide's bringing in is much more.
Yeah, I feel like now we're looking kind of end of the PS2, beginning of PS3, $599 Ridge Racer.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's giant enemy crab.
Yeah.
That's only one half of the Jim Ryan problem.
Right.
So he also talked about crossplay. You recall at E3, a big thing was Minecraft was the big one, followed by Rocket League.
Yeah.
But Minecraft was the big one where, hey, crossplay, fucking on everything. Include like there was a Nintendo Switch model built in Minecraft on Microsoft's press conference. Huge. And PlayStation completely absent from the conversation. So the way that it would be one thing to not do that, not participate in the cross-play thing. That's one piece of it. But how you react to it and what your answers are when you're asked questions is a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So our good friend Jim Ryan, in an interview with
Ryan.
Yeah, fucker, in an interview with Eurogamer, Let's see here. Specifically, yeah, there's he. Sorry, I'm
like how long ago was it?
This was E3. It was like right after E3. And so Eurogamer asks, there's a situation emerging at this E3 around cross-platform play. Minecraft works cross-platform between Switch, Xbox, and PC. Today, Rocket League was announced as working cross-platform between Switch, Xbox, and PC. Neither work cross-platform with PlayStation. Now, is this Sony not playing ball? What is actually going on here? Jim Ryan.
Sony not playing ball. That's what.
Yeah. Let me hear it. Is, you say that. That's English, the language you're speaking. Yeah. I'm going to translate that into Jim Ryan for you. It's certainly not a profound philosophical stance we have against this. We've done it in the past. We're always open to conversations with any developer or publisher who wants to talk about it. Unfortunately, it's a commercial decision between ourselves and other stakeholders, and I'm not going to get into the detail of that on this particular instance. And I can see your eyes rolling. End quote. Eurogamer. Well, you must see that PlayStation owners are upset. They want to play with Switch owners and Xbox One owners for these two big and important games, and they don't have an explanation why. That's what I'm getting at, really. Jim Ryan. Yeah. We've got to be mindful of our responsibility to our install base. Minecraft, the demographic playing that, you know as well as I do, it's all ages, but it's also very young. We have a contract with the people who go online with us that we look after them, and they are within the PlayStation curated universe. Exposing what in many cases are children to external influences we have no ability to manage or look after, it's something we have to think about very carefully. Eurogamer. It doesn't seem to be a problem for Nintendo, perhaps the video game company most mindful of the protection of children. Jim Ryan. Yeah, that's true. Everybody has to take their own decisions.
True dog.
We'll do that. Like I say, we have no philosophical stance against crossplay at all. Eurogamer. Is this a done deal, or are you leaving the door open? Jim Ryan, I don't think anything's ever a done deal. Anybody who is dogmatic in that matter is typically a fool. That said, to my knowledge, there is no live conversation ongoing at the moment. That's where I'm at with Jim Ryan. I was ready to cut him from the list, but now also no.
I don't think he realized, like, when he's like, I don't want to expose the kids to other, it's like, oh, so you're saying the other demographic, the non-PS owners, are just pedophiles and
yeah.
You know,
and that like that shit can't happen on your own platform. It was a very dumb, backwards way of saying, hi, we're on top and we don't want to let anybody in on our dinner here. I don't know.
Doesn't the back of every box say online interactions are not rated?
Yeah.
Yes.
They have to.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, in the most of the mature games that people play online, the Call of Duties and stuff, you hear the little kids, you know, they bang your mom, honestly, fuck you.
I'm going to tell you exactly why you cannot play Minecraft online. It's because when you have to play Minecraft online, you must, on any platform. So if I do that on Switch, I have to sign in with an Xbox account or a Microsoft account. That's why. It's because Sony and their shareholders do not want you to do that, which they have every right to. I'm not saying they don't. It's, again,
it's what he's saying.
Right. It's his delivery of this stuff. Yeah. If transparency, I think, is key today, and he's not being transparent, I think in combination with his backwards way of thinking about backwards compatibility, because again, like, you know, I'm not saying that the Die Hard trilogy for PS1 is the greatest game ever, but as a licensed property, that game's never going to get released on another thing. I think it's still worth seeing. There's parts of that game where, like, oh shit, Crazy Taxi kind of pulled from that weird Die Hard 3 thing. Oh, some of the third-person elements in climbing, that's really cool. Oh yeah, that first-person stuff in Die Hard 2, yeah, we probably don't need that. But that game's really cool, and no one's ever going to know it unless they go find it at a flea market.
And buy it for however much.
Right,
you know?
I think that, like, there needs to be a bigger conversation happening from these companies. I mean, you look at, if we jump back to comparing it to movies, you have things like the Criterion Collection, which that's its own company doing a thing to preserve certain movies. But Warner Brothers, Universal, Disney, they're all in the business of making sure that the movies they've made are preserved in some fashion. So many things have been put out on iTunes, and they're still being celebrated. Like, hey, we did a digital release, and you can watch this now here, buy this now on this digital storefront. It's a weird thing that I don't like. Nintendo started doing really, really well with Virtual Console and kind of set a precedent. I don't know if it's the precedent. I'd like to see a better effort. But the fact that he's just like, why would anyone want to play old games? That is,
I don't know. Look at everything else in the world, even the music industry. How many fucking times Metallica has remastered their first 4 albums?
Yeah,
and how many times
right.
people buy them? Like,
right. Because it's preservation. Like everything is at our fingertips, and I think it's important that it is. Like it's what's made us grow as a species. It's what's made us more cultured. Like we're in such a fucked up place. Like fashion doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, it does and it doesn't, right? But like trends are so easily shared because of the internet. We're all connected in a new way. Near automata, right? I mean, we're all dabbing.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God.
To not keep this stuff alive is bullshit.
It's a very narrow-minded point of view, and that's someone in his position probably can't afford to be doing that.
Yeah, and what else does it say about where Sony stands? You know?
Yep, there.
Great.
Do you always have that with you?
It's in the bag at all times. Like a magician.
Break glass in case of emergency.
Well, if you want to be a true magician, you need to Assassin's Creed blade that shit to the inside of your elbow, so at any time you can just drop it into your hand down your sleeve.
You don't know I don't do that already.
Great story, Matt.
All
right.
right, Mark.
Hey.
All right, well, I feel like just by time principle, that has to stay for a bit.
I don't want to cut that.
But after that, would you? I know the Nintendo Switch Online app sucks.
It ruined a game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Splatoon 2 ended up on biggest disappointment because of that app.
Okay. That's it.
I think GAF.
Dude, GAF is a fucking mess.
GAF is a nightmare, but
gaming moves on.
Like Reset Era was born because of it. Like
all right, yeah, good came out of it.
Like it's kind of like the hackers in PUBG. It was a bad week, but
that did disrupt an entire. I mean that whole fucking thing. Like NeoGAF is gone.
I wish other sites would follow suit.
Yeah,
but I mean, like I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh well, like this is a good thing what that guy did. No, he's a fuckbag, but
it did bring him out, and then I guess.
But like, no, like the stuff that was being posted in GAF, not this stuff like burn it down and all that stuff. There was a few leaks we got out of it because people were like, "All right, I'm done."
Maybe we don't. We still don't know if they're
we don't
real.
know, but like I don't know. I think that stuff was kind of cool to see.
There was something cool about the ship burning down and watching it sink.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I know.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
and then going through the comments, I'm out. Fuck you, I'm out.
But I guess from the ashes rises Reset Era, and I think that's
and it was, that was a bad week.
Yeah, I would take it off because maybe it's something that needed to happen this whole time.
I think if now our lens is changing a little bit. Like we're looking at like the hopelessness now. Like there's hope out of NeoGAF.
If Reset Era didn't come out of it, then that would be
There's no hope out of Jim Ryan. There's no hope out of Visceral because they're fucking gone.
That's horrible.
For Respawn,
right? Which is so dirty.
And all of this is because of fucking Star Wars.
God, fuck Star Wars.
Same.
I like
Same.
Star Wars.
I mean,
I know I like Star Wars a lot too, but man, it's ruined fucking video games.
Like, Star Wars is a fine franchise, but it's just it's not the franchise's fault, but it's the use of it from the user, which is EA. It's their fault for how they want to handle it, right?
And then Disney too,
or Disney.
Yeah, because Disney's always
has
that strict
more
policy.
so just fuck Disney.
Yeah.
Like that's my
all right,
stance.
So hold on, we've got 3 different things on this list that all tie back to EA.
Yeah, so I think we have to maybe pick one out of this.
I honestly, I'm gonna make a suggestion here. I say we dump these all into EA. I think we
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, a little merger, a little hot merge.
Okay, because that's just like saying Jim fucking Ryan talking about backwards compatibility, and then having another one, Jim fucking Ryan talking about crossplay.
Which I think I originally did, but now I made
would
them.
just put EA.
Because honestly, like Battlefront 2 was a fucking mess because of
Visceral did not deserve that.
Visceral got shut down, and then a week later, they bought Respawn.
That was the crummy part. Like studios shut down. It happens. It's an
right.
unfortunate thing about the video game industry, and it sucks that it was that maybe cool single player Star Wars game that we hadn't seen for a while.
Yeah.
That sucks. It was the crummy part of like a week later. Respawn is bought,
and it wasn't that Respawn was bought, right? That's a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was the fact that a company made a bid to buy Respawn, and because Respawn has a contract with EA.
They have to let them know
For those games. They have to let them know, and EA gets priority buying or whatever, right? So they went, oh, we should do that. Well, we can't just do that. The shareholders aren't going to be happy if we just do that. So what if we shut down a property to buy another? And that's the big fuck you. And then part 3, Mass Effect Andromeda. I think out of all of these things, if we were starting to cut, I think that'd be the next one to go. However, no, I know.
I'm just upset about the game.
But it is a bad thing. But I think if you just kind of lump that under the umbrella of EA, like EA's done some stupid fucking things this year.
To no surprise.
But like boom, boom, boom. It was just
particularly bad.
All right, then EA.
All right, so
that sucks. I meant EA,
I know.
especially
I feel like
this rule.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like EA is just going to be the hottest mess. Period. I would probably put it above Jim Ryan.
I'll agree with that.
Jim Ryan's just one person who just says some dumb shit, but I don't think he controls everything about Sony.
He doesn't, but the fact that they didn't put a leash on him after the first stupid shit means that they're not totally.
How long
against
ago
what
were they
he said.
apart? Those two quotes. When was that Gran Turismo event?
I think both of those quotes were within a month of each other. So maybe they did put a leash
So
on him.
maybe at the end of the month he got a text from one of the uppers like, "Hey, can you go office?"
Shoot, text him like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I think EA wants to hire you.
right.
EA what?
I think EA wants to hire.
You want to talk? All right, so if we're looping this all into EA. Let's talk about dirty fucking executives. That Soderling guy, fuck him. He's the worst. Patrick Soderling, isn't he the CEO of EA?
Why? What's wrong with him? He plays games with his kid.
He's the one. He was the one that had that stupid fucking quote about how they had to shut down Visceral because the scope of the game, they need to change the scope from single player.
So
and it sounded very loot fucking boxy after all the Battlefront shit.
We're firing people.
And every time he's on stage, I hate looking at him.
Well, that's
he was
your
at the
own
Switch
thing.
event. He was at the Switch event talking about FIFA and looked like he wanted no fucking parts of being on that stage.
He's
no,
the guy with the black hair.
he's the tall motherfucker.
Right, but he's like the head dude, whatever.
Yeah.
You know how he got that position?
Because he's tall.
Oh wait. I don't know if that's the same guy.
No,
I don't know if it's the same dude.
really.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'll
What's
find
his name
out.
again?
Patrick Soder or something.
Soderlund.
Yeah. Patrick.
He's
Soder.
got the two dots above the O. I don't know what that is. What that's
The
called.
umlaut.
Yeah, that's it.
He was the CEO at DICE, and now he's the executive VP. He's
Executive
not
VP.
that
Okay,
guy.
sorry.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of the fucking guy at EA that got his job by inventing the loot box.
Yeah, out of that one
Just
soccer
Swedish
game.
businessman.
And they're just
In
like,
FIFA?
no, it was the UES or UESA. I don't know what it's called. But
Andrew Wilson, businessman.
yeah, but that game
Wikipedia
introduced like the
page.
packs of cards and stuff for the players and other stuff, and then they just took that and ran with it, and he got where he is now.
This dude looks like a porn star.
All right, now we're grouping EA into this, because now we've really opened up the umbrella to EA now. How about E3?
Yeah.
The influencers.
Yeah.
And that guy
Need
for Speed.
I'm Jesse.
Sorry, yeah. I'm an influencer, man.
Yeah. All right. EA wins. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm down
God
with
damn it.
that.
I would say
them.
Jim Ryan close second.
Yeah.
Switch and
Fuck
third.
that Switch app.
I remember
Yeah.
when what's his name, John Riccatello, when he was still a part of EA, and then he left EA to Unity. Oh boy.
He went to Unity?
Yeah, everybody was not happy at first, but he's actually doing pretty good over at Unity.
Interesting.
Duke Cuphead.
Yeah, straight up.
All right, there you have it. Your hottest mess for 2017. Electronic Arts
It's in the
runners
game.
up Jim Ryan and Nintendo Switch Online.
How about NHL 18 too? This
Yeah.
really all
We
falling
made the
in
right choice. We made the
Can we
right
just call
choice.
this the fuck EA award? Like,
Yeah, really.
Man, remember this time last year it was Konami.
Oh, don't bring up Konami.
I was like, there's a wave here.
Oh god, I'm already sweating.
Were they the hottest mess of last year?
They weren't the hottest.
Or we didn't do hottest mess last year. I don't think.
There was I forget the category. There was something. Fuck, Konami was the nominee. I think it almost won.
I think it did win because we kept chanting it.
Did we? Oh yeah, we did have a nice little chant.
Anyway, yeah.
We had favorite industry moment, and that included Del Toro tells Konami, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't have hottest mess.
Okay.
Anyway, there you have it. Cool. We got 2 more to run through. So your next category is best DLC or expansion. And your nominees are Not a Hero, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, End of Zoe, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Abigail in Street Fighter 5, Sub-Zero in Injustice 2, the LJN Retro Pack in Friday the 13th, the expansion and additional Konami characters in Super Bomberman R, and the Spark of Madness in Dead by Daylight.
So who's Abigail?
Abigail, he's the dude that's like 10 feet tall.
Oh.
In Street Fighter 5.
Was he one of the ones they added? It's like a... Because they did some weird shit this year. It was like, yo, this guy was a background character in... Yeah. Is that him?
Yeah, he was from, what was it, Final Fight. And when he came out, just all of the gifs of just the wackiest shit he could pull off. Like, it was just...
Is he the bald dude?
Nah, he's the dude that had... Is he bald? Yeah, he's
got a little tuft.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now, when this was announced, I wasn't really familiar because I hadn't really played the older Final Fight games. But my friend Jeff was telling me, they call him Abigail because the face paint he has, it's reference to King Diamond, which is like...
Oh, that's fucking cool.
And he has a song called Abigail in an album, too. So I was peeing my pants when I heard about that. But, I mean, we can honestly cut her off the list, but I just remember at the time when that came out, that was kind of like a big moment for Street Fighter because the subreddit was just filled with like, did you see Abigail can do this? Did you see blah 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 blah? Can we even jump over Abigail? He's taller than the fucking screen. Like, it was just a huge moment in Street Fighter at the time.
I guess you could trip him and jump over him.
Yeah, it was weird and like doing grabs on him. Like, how? Like,
he's based on a Canadian wrestler, and his face makeup refers to King Diamond in the eponymous album Abigail.
Yeah, we can cut it though.
I feel like he should be a Guilty Gear character because that's all about rock references.
Yeah,
all that.
You think cut it?
I mean,
I would honestly cut Sub-Zero.
I would as well. However, I think we could. Well, I guess they didn't release yet the Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But that's such a fucking cool.
I hope it turns out well.
Yeah. Well, so what were the fighter packs? You had Fighter Pack 1 was Sub-Zero.
Was it Black Manta?
No, he's in 2. It was Sub-Zero, Starfire, and Red Hood. Then you had Black Manta, Hellboy, and Raiden.
Mm.
And now you'll have Adam, Enchantress, and Ninja Turtles. But yeah, I think Sub-Zero's dope, but
no, he's cool.
And I hated when they announced that they were adding Mortal Kombat, but he turned out alright. I'm fine with cutting that.
Okay.
And you want to cut Abigail?
I'm fine with it.
Somebody tell me about the Spark of Madness.
I think that was my pick. That's the guy I was talking to earlier, Raiden.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, now,
do you think that changes the game significantly?
When we're playing that game and we're playing against that guy, we're like, oh shit,
it's that guy.
It's that guy. So I mean, it's definitely like a game changer whenever he comes on. So if ever me personally, I would keep him on, but
keep him on.
Okay.
The Friday the 13th LJN stuff.
I mean, that's just cosmetics. You know,
but they added that
song. Cool cosmetics.
Now you're talking about the.
But the only problem is that it's limited to the one
blue mask.
The only one Jason can do that. Not all of them can get that suit.
Which Jason is it? I don't know.
I think it's part 3.
Okay.
Part 3 or yeah, I think it has to be because 3 or 4.
So so for anyone who hasn't played Friday the 13th, like each Jason has his own different perks and stats and stuff like that. So if it's only limited to the one, you're limited in the way you can play.
Yeah, like it was a free update.
That.
You didn't have to pay for it. It was just
I did not know that. I just kind of assumed.
And when you hear him coming, you hear like the custom chiptune music, whatever.
I have played against that Jason. It was pretty cool to hear the chiptune music.
Yeah.
And him being in purple is just dumb.
But like that's all it is. You know what I mean?
I didn't know it was limited to the one Jason. That's kind of disappointing. Now that I know that.
Yeah. So I think the Kraden dude in Dead by Daylight, that is way more impactful and effective to that game than.
All right.
Yeah, and plus he needs chiptune music when you play Safety Dance.
That's true. I'll play chiptune version of Safety Dance.
The Not a Hero DLC or the End of Zoe DLC?
Okay, this is tough.
Fuck one, kill one.
I think this is just.
Or
I'm kidding.
If I think it comes down to you because I think you're the only one that actually.
So they're both very crucial. They're both important. You play as 2 different characters, thus broadening your perspective on this game. And it does answer some questions. It does tie some loose ends. Me personally, I had more fun with End of Zoe, but Not a Hero, like I said, it did answer some cool questions, and it just makes you wanting more. But I'm gonna have to put End of Zoe above Not a Hero.
Would you?
All right, hold on.
Would you cut Not a Hero from this list, or would you fight to keep both of them on? Was that what you were gonna say?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, Not a Hero makes me think if they make Resident Evil 8, I think it's gonna be more like that. So that's cool.
Well, let's hear about Super Bomberman R. He's conflicted.
That's tough.
I don't know what that is.
I
know what that is, but yeah.
Super Bomberman R. They added a whole new mode. So like I think continually like that game. Goddamn, that game from the start. It got announced January 20th when the Switch reveal happened in Japan, and we were like, "A fucking what? Konami? You're not. How did you? Who's?
You guys aren't cool.
Yeah. What the fuck?" And then
They were listening.
I know. And then the game came out, and it wasn't bad, but there were some things about it that weren't great.
Right.
Okay.
Camera angles in single player mode, difficulty in single player mode,
It was hardcore.
in-game currency that you earned was, I think, you got fewer early on.
You started out with some.
You did, but like the progression to earn in-game rewards was a little. I think it was a little off or something.
Online wasn't that great.
Online wasn't, but like they took all of the feedback and just checked every box off. They went, "Oh, you want that? You want? Okay, cool. We'll fix that.
Yeah,
We're sorry,"
which is cool.
Yeah. And very transparent, where they're like, "Hi, we want to do this. It'll happen soon. Here's what we're doing now." Like it was boom, boom, boom. It was the opposite of Jim Ryan.
And everything's been free.
And boom, you buy the game once,
To a point.
everything's been. No, it is.
Well, the characters, it's free to get, but they cost coins. They cost the in-game currency.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that
I'm
because it
just
gives me
saying.
that. Yeah, it gives me that thing to earn.
I just want people
but,
going
like,
in expecting, I just get all these right away. Like,
Yeah, no. You earn them in game,
Yeah.
but you're not.
They want
and
you to
there's-
play the game first to get these.
There's
characters.
no
That's the
loot
point.
boxes you're buying.
Would you say it gives them a sense of accomplishment?
I would do that. But there's no like. I'm not on the eShop buying coins to then use in game. Like everything you do, you spend $50 on this game once. Period. You're done.
And they're doing some nice callbacks. It seems like
So many callbacks.
to a point where it's like, they made it part of a story.
And they added all of them into this story now. But they added come on.
So
the big one, obviously, Castlevania. You got fucking Simon Belmont and Dracula in there, which is stupid.
and
like
Dracula's the main villain in the
expansion
Grand
they
Prix
did.
expansion, whatever.
That's it.
They added.
They're all fully voice acted too.
Yeah.
Wait, did they do a Silent Hill thing too?
They added Pyramid
Yeah.
Head. They added what's the other one, Mark?
I forget her name. The nurse.
The nurse.
Yeah.
Everybody just calls him the nurse.
Yeah, but they added them too.
They had a name in it, but I
Okay.
don't remember now.
What nurse?
I said it last time. I forgot what it is.
They added
already.
Vic Viper. They added
Mm-hmm.
who was the other one?
They added
Goemon,
yes.
right?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
That's the one I've been really wanting.
That's the
They added the 2 mechs from Zone of the Enders 2, the Anubis and the Jouet one or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is funny because in that series, Zone of the Enders, there's a Vic Viper's a character in that too.
Oh, huh.
I would.
It just like that game launched and it was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. And now it's like, hey, but you should be playing this game.
Yeah, but these are all like Bomberman versions of these characters, so they have like the little antenna sticking out. They're not like, they're all like cutesy looking,
right,
whatever, and they all come from like their own worlds, which are just like Planet Castlevania, Planet Mystical Ninja, I guess, or Planet Silent Hill. Like it's.
I think it might be Planet Going. No, it is Mystical Ninja. I wish it were Planet.
Do you think it's kind of them giving a nod to everybody saying they don't give a shit about their earlier games?
Cares.
I think
and
it's
there's that one graphic artist in the back
because
that's like
and obviously they wanted to do a 33rd anniversary.
Yeah.
That's what this is celebrating. It's a weird number to do, but like I'm okay with that just because I just like having Bomberman around.
I think too, like it's also, I don't know, the fact that like we're seeing a little bit of Konami love is nice because Konami has this huge repository of like great properties that are seemingly lost forever.
It gives Konami potential and hope, but I don't want to put it too high either because I'm just like cautiously optimistic with Konami for years to come. Maybe not so much in the moment because I think we need more than just Bomberman. You know?
I do too, but this, I don't know. This was cool. I think the story mode's pretty like full.
Yeah, like they didn't have to do
full
any
featured.
Of this.
But I think the additional things, that's the stuff that sets a precedent where it's like, hey, they added all this stuff for free. They added this stuff just as fan service. Yeah. I think it's really dope.
And to get back to the Resident Evil stuff, now like if you were to only play one of them, I feel like End of Zoe still ties the whole thing together. That makes the game feel more complete.
So you think End of Zoe is the best thing for RE7, not a hero is the best thing to lead you into a sequel? If that's what I'm hearing?
Yeah. But if we're just talking about just for Resident Evil 7, like in general, with that story and those characters, I think End of Zoe has more involved and more to do with it than the not a hero stuff.
Okay. If we look at the title of the category, best DLC or expansion.
Yeah. And I wish I could talk about it so much more, but from what I said before, I love that so much. It
sounded like you had a good time with that game.
And it's like, it doesn't, I feel like it shouldn't even be in that game the way I played that.
Yeah,
that's not,
cool.
it's weird, but that's why I like it.
Do you feel like we keep both of them on?
I feel like that's greedy.
I don't think it is.
If you believe greedy, if you think they're both deserving. I have not played anything on this list, so I am up for discussion.
Well, as an outsider, where do you stand with like what you're hearing from us?
I mean, from the Super Bomberman stuff, the fact that it's free, like I get that, the whole Rocket League Overwatch thing, that that's what I was preaching from before. I mean, based on the earlier discussion, was that Tuesday?
Yeah.
For the best in-game moment,
yep.
like based on the discussions that you had there with those 2 pieces of DLC, I could tell that had a big impact on you. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think from what's left on this list, we should maybe talk about Spark of Madness again.
Okay.
Because I just, you two have played that character.
I think I've seen that character in action, but not as much as Ben has. Ben has more insight.
So like, how does that add anything? I mean, yes, it adds a new character, but like, how does that really impact the game? Is it just like another character to choose from? Like, how does that add to it?
At the end of the day, it is just another character to choose from. I mean, that game, like we mentioned earlier, it has like quite a list of monsters that are added to it.
Does that one stick out though?
I think it sticks out big time.
Okay.
I forgot to mention this. What's really cool about it is, I don't know if Friday the 13th does this too. I didn't even buy that expansion, but if you want to play as the monster, that's when you have to buy the expansion. You don't have to buy it in order to be a survivor against said monster.
All of Jason's stuff, it's either there's free stuff including updates, or you just unlock them at certain levels.
Okay,
and that's it.
So I mean, that's.
I think it's a cool. Yeah.
Because
there are like content you can buy, but it's like $1.99
Yeah.
for like extra costumes for the counselors or something. That's
And
makes
then
sense.
you don't think the price for the new character was outrageous, right?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, I don't know.
But like the characters usually come with like a stage or something too, right?
Mhm.
Like it's not just a character.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get, like,
How
other stuff.
extensively did we get into the Super Bomberman like actual new story mode? Did you dive into that much?
I mean, in the end, it's just like a glorified battle mode.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
nothing like crazy. It's just extra.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think, but I think content-wise, like it opened, like once you
The
finish
fact-
the
yeah.
campaign, like this is a good. This came out like 7 months after the game did. It was
I know
like,
it came out recently.
yeah, it was like, hey, here's a new campaign to run through, and this one's like co-op specific.
Like if it wasn't Konami, it wouldn't feel as important.
I think the fact that like Konami's doing something cool.
I don't
is
know,
another
like
big
7
thing,
months,
too.
a brand new campaign, for free.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's dope. I mean,
Yeah.
I just had to pay what $10 for new Horizon thing, and that's like kind of
20.
new. Oh, it was 15. I got that plus deal. E3.
Dang, you guys just did a
I like how it
bargain.
was 20 and then you round down to 10. 'cause
Yeah,
it
that's
was
what I- yeah, that's what I was
15.
saying.
I
Yeah.
thought it was 15. I got it on discount for
So,
$5 off.
Like
All right,
Not
well,
a
15.
Hero is free, regardless of the season pass.
I like
Ah, I did not know
Because
that.
that was supposed to come out back in February or March, and they felt like it wasn't to the quality that they wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe it
So
was for
it
the
got
better.
delayed all the way to now, and then at the same time, End of Zoe released because the Gold Edition released.
Yeah.
So now you can get all of that in one package if you want now.
Oh, I
So-
didn't know that thing was free.
I was
Yeah.
also thinking about this. I'm not gonna start crying and having a hissy fit if Spark of Madness doesn't win, but I'm thinking like, in terms of what's more important to the series, I would say either the Resident Evil DLC, because Resident Evil 7, it's them trying to bring
Yeah.
the horror elements, not like jumping from helicopters,
Yeah.
shooting rocket launchers.
Coming
at
from
everybody.
6, it's
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
That's a
like
really good point.
a refresh. It's a big refresh button.
I don't know.
on
You
the
all
series.
talking about. I thought 6 was great.
And End of
I
Zoe.
thought 6 was okay.
It's-
I had
I'm just
couch
kidding.
co-op, it's a lot of fun.
It's hot.
couch
garbage.
co-op and a lot of beer. It's fun.
Yeah.
believe
Oh
me.
yeah, a lot of beer. Okay,
yeah.
got it. I'm glad that's what it's saying.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Like it's just fun, but like if that's a game you're trying to take serious, you're gonna have a hard time.
And playing by yourself.
So,
No,
but,
I agree.
But End of Zoe kind of adds to the RE7 mantra better than Not a Hero does. Is that?
It's weird because like they're like they're all important, but
From the way you talked about it
Yeah.
yesterday, if I remember correctly, End of Zoe solidifies the story where Not a Hero kind of recenters it as part of the Resident Evil universe. Is that right?
Not a Hero leads to more potential
Okay.
because it's just the direction of one character
Right.
that it goes in. End of Zoe seems like it ends that game on it. Like, that's how the game should have ended in
That's
the
this one?
main campaign.
Yeah.
Yes.
That you really liked that
I
one.
was
I
saying,
did.
and I think that mechanic you were talking about, like,
I say we cut Not a Hero.
I was
gonna
about to say, we
I
just put
think
End of
that's
Zoe.
where I'm leaning at,
Yeah.
Okay.
based on arguments and things of that nature.
All right, what wins?
I would say End of Zoe.
I'm gonna say End of Zoe just based on previous discussions and the way the discussions were going.
Like
on
I
right
even
here.
put Joe Baker as a best character
All right,
nominee.
Put it
Like,
up
Yeah,
there.
as I said,
Your-
based on past discussions and what just happened.
your
at
best
the table.
DLC and expansion is The End of Zoe and Resident Evil 7 with runners-up
Good.
Super Bomberman R's Konami suite of characters and expansions. And then the Spark of Madness in Dead by Daylight.
I like
I have
that.
to give a special shout out to Rocket League. I did not play it, so I
Oh,
could not
yeah.
officially nominate it.
Yeah.
However, Dom Toretto's
Oh,
1970 Dodge Charger
We're moving
is
on.
available
Moving on.
as a car
Is it?
in Rocket League.
We're moving
Yes,
on,
it
fidget spinner.
is.
Nice. Nice.
Damn it.
Hashtag family.
Why didn't you bring that up sooner?
I know, yeah, you fucked
I
up.
forgot. I forgot
That
about
would
it.
have won the category. Anyway,
I forgot about it until we were down to 4, and I just had to do a quick Google search.
we got one more. I feel like this one's going to be a fast one, potentially. This is the best old game that we played this year. This is just that thing that won't go away. We talked at the top of the day about 2017's 2016 Game of the Year, but that was something from last year that just we missed. But this is that thing that we can't put down, that thing that maybe we're just discovering for the first time and it's decades old.
Or we're playing to stick into the Jim Ryan, you know?
Maybe we're still playing it years and years and years. This is your nominees for the Fuck Jim Ryan Award. Dark Souls, Skate 3, Fallout New Vegas, Quake Live, Dota 2, Rocket League, Bloodborne, Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm Curtain Call, Psychonauts, Halo Combat Evolved, World of Warcraft. Who's playing WoW?
That's what I was about to ask.
You played it for a little bit, didn't you?
Not vanilla WoW, but
It was me.
I
What?
played it for a bit.
When?
I played over the summer.
The
Oh,
vanilla?
dang.
Yeah, dude.
Did an expansion come out this year?
I think.
No,
All right,
He
so
has this-
no,
Ben
like-
has this great grin on his face
So-
right now talking about WoW.
Were you playing the old servers before they got shut down by Blizzard?
no, I
Or these are
was
the newer
I was
ones?
just the full new package, whatever it was, hopped right
Okay.
in.
What?
So I know. Okay, look.
I mean, me too.
You have not. All right, go on.
I completely forgot about this until this morning.
All right.
Because I've said this before about Faith, but she loves WoW. Like she was there to like since the early days.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has the collector's edition, still has the box and everything. And she's because I was gonna do it last summer with her, but I was like, I'm not gonna fucking play WoW. What the fuck? So
Yeah, I know. What a fucking nerd.
I know, dork.
Who
So
plays this type of games?
So I was like, this year I was like, for our first 20 levels, it's free,
Mhm.
whatever. It's like whatever. Fuck
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
right.
hooked,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
Let me.
My friend
Spec-
currently is still hooked.
I mean, there's still a bunch of people playing that fucking game.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, she'll play it over the summer because she's a teacher, and then it's just not
Oh,
as
yeah,
busy in
yeah.
the summer. So there was a specific, like the first few levels, I was like, it's just every other MMO. And then I got in one of those fucking airships,
Mm.
and then just saw like the world, and then I was like, I wish I took a screenshot of the text that I was sending to Faith, but I was like, this game is fucking huge. She was like, I know, and I was like, did you know this is here? She's like, yeah.
And she was like, "You fucking dork."
Yeah. Like, welcome to like 10
Goddamn
years ago,
nerd.
dude. Like,
Oh man.
I was just like,
What character were you?
I was at first I picked one of the fucking gremlin dudes. I can't remember the fucking names. The ones that drive the cars. The goblins.
Knob
Okay.
Goblin?
Okay.
Yeah, I did those at first, and I was like, this is not fun. So eventually I just did an orc, like
Okay.
just straight up orc.
I figured you'd
Yeah.
be horde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, I did for the horde because she's always like, no, fuck the alliance.
Mm.
And then the singer from Cannibal Corpse has a horde tattoo.
Oh,
And it's
well,
always like,
that's,
so-
there it is.
So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, got it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think-
just that game has so much in it, and from the summer I played it, I feel like I was like not even like 10% of that game was touched, because there's that part when you're on like the flying animals and you're going to like a certain part,
Griffins, man.
Griffin, and you just look below and it's like there's just so much in this fucking game right now. Jesus Christ. And like all the quests are like there are a lot of fetch quests,
Yeah.
but at the same time they're kind of unique in its own way. I don't know. I was just fucking blown away by it.
No,
Yeah,
I
I mean-
remember on G4 there was so many Easter eggs to like references to other games in there.
That too, yeah. There's so many Easter eggs in that game. It's just I don't know. I had a blast.
I don't know.
playing
I get the whole WoW appeal. Nick, when he has internet for a short amounts of time, he actually still hops into the servers with his other friends, and he tried to get me to play. I was like, oh, nah.
Alright.
I play Hearthstone, son.
Let's leave it. Dragon Quest.
I think that was mine too. I have a soft spot for RPGs when you only have a party of one.
Yeah.
So I fucking loved this game.
Was it really just a party of one?
Yeah, the first one
Oh.
was, yeah.
That's
I
cool.
think the second one's like they started introducing like new characters.
Mm.
But yeah, I had a blast. I mean, it probably doesn't deserve to be on this list, but I've been meaning to play Dragon Quest for about 15 years now, and then finally I just jumped the gun and bought it.
Yeah.
I think it's like $1.
Is
Yeah.
it like
On
one of the more
iPhone?
like difficult ones? The first one?
It's I don't know if it's one of the more difficult ones because like I don't really know too much about Dragon Quest
Yeah.
in general, but it was pretty fucking difficult. There were times I would have to like grind and whatnot. So I had a lot of fun. You can take it off the list, but it's
Yeah.
I'm just saying it was
I
a lot
mean,
of fun.
yeah. I'm gonna.
Curtain Call?
Yeah,
Okay.
Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm Curtain Call.
No, that's the rhythm game, right?
Yeah, it's so good.
It
It
is.
It's
looks
so fucking
dope. I'm
good.
just looking at this list here, and that's the one that kind of...
Yeah, it's a really, really good game. It pays a really great homage to the whole series. Like you're playing it and you're like, God, I fucking love Final Fantasy. Like I just love the characters in the world and the legacy.
lore,
And
yeah.
I think playing that, like the 30th anniversary stuff, kind of tickled me a little bit. Where I was like, yeah, man.
And the music in those games is great, too. So.
And
No,
like this is a
yeah.
game about just the music. And it's a different style of rhythm game too on 3DS. Like you kind of use the slider in a weird way. It's a
cool.
fun like RPG in itself, but you're also doing it through the lens of a rhythm game. Really good.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
You cutting Rocket League?
No, not Rocket League.
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna cut Dota 2.
Thank God. Gone. Say no more, fam. I'm just
Comparing.
kidding. So real quick, Dota 2, you for some reason like fell in love with this year. It took everything over. You just became completely obsessed with it. Like you watched the fucking international.
TI7.
That happens like once a month now. Yeah, so I think that's an important game to kind of bring up, that a game like that, after all these years of something clicked and grabbed you the right way.
I don't know. It was just like that freaking.
But that's cool though.
To
have that feeling.
I was thinking about it. I was actually talking to Joe like late last week. I was like, this was the year I just decided to like pick games that are just brutally tough on me.
Yeah.
The start of a Bloodborne early in the year, and
good start.
Dota like in June, where that like Dota's hard, but is more the steep learning curve where you have to really.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then I finally got to a place in that game where I understood it, and I was able to watch the international. I actually like really enjoyed watching it because there's like they actually put in some like good production value to that stuff. And it was cool. Like I just kind of randomly picked the team to kind of cheer for, and they just ended up winning. So that was kind of cool to watch them ride it out. You know, my boy Kurogi, Miracle.
What's the team?
Liquid. You know, Matumba Man.
Yeah, sure. What?
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I don't know. This game's gonna stick around. Like I still hop in and play a match every now and then.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not good at it by any means of the imagination, but yeah. I don't know. I do watch it every now and then in the break room at work.
It's a shame.
Hop into an esport tournament, you know, like DreamHack or something.
I admire your admiration.
I don't know, man. Now that I understand that game, I just love it. It kind of makes me want to jump into Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh, I'll play if you play.
All right.
Psychonauts.
Was that you?
That wasn't me. I thought that was you.
Did I play
I thought it was Mark.
I thought it was Mark.
Maybe I did play it this year. I don't even remember.
All right, I'm taking it off the list.
I love it.
All
I
right.
always love it.
Am I wrong as much as we ramble about Quake?
Don't make me throw my laptop. No, we can.
You know what I mean? I'm looking at these other games though.
I played for 30 minutes and I had a blast.
Yeah.
That was the one I was going to keep because that was the only one that we all played.
You know what? Cut World of Warcraft. Leave Quake on.
What? Really? You spoke impassionately about.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Okay.
Dark Souls.
Okay.
That look.
Okay. I didn't play Bloodborne this year. I did play Dark Souls this year.
Yes.
And what you said earlier when you were done playing Bloodborne, you had to fill that void.
Yeah.
Dark Souls was the one that I filled the void with.
This year.
Yeah. And
it wasn't filling the void. It was like I just know the next game I'm going to play is not going to be Bloodborne. So like some game had to be that disappointment.
No, for me, I had to fill the void because I don't know if I told. Like I remember specifically talking to Faith about it, and she called me the biggest fucking dork. Like I was done
Shut
playing.
Up, wow.
I was done playing. Yep. I was done playing Bloodborne, and I was like, I was like, this is it. I'm not playing this anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm done. I did everything I could. I platinumed. We're putting it in the case and just put it on the shelf. And I was texting her, and she's like, "Get the fuck over it, man." Shut up. So then I was like, I want to go back, but I know if I should stop playing it, leave it where it is. So then I just opened up Steam and installed Dark Souls, and then that's when that whole like I dabbled a little bit last year, but then like this year was when I actually started to play it. You know what I mean?
And did it consume you the way that you wanted it to?
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't think it would because other people were like, you're kind of like going back. It's like playing the last game in the series and then going back. It's when I've read it online, people are like, yeah, it's a different game. I don't know. I fucking love the shit out of Dark Souls.
I'm looking through this list here, and I'm kind of realizing this is the Ben Barris category. Like,
yeah, what did I say when we were doing the game of the year? I'm not going to be able to talk much about games
games from this year, but like this category, if not anything else, is like
Because
So-
the only one I've played is Quake.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it
you've
wasn't
also
much.
got Fallout New Vegas on here.
God damn it!
I know, man. I know.
Kill your babies.
New Vegas saved Fallout for me because after 3, I kind of just stopped giving a shit about it. Like,
Yeah.
I was the fucking uber nerd when they would show a video for Doom and everyone was like, "Where's Fallout 4?" I was one of Pines like, "Fuck you, give us our time."
Yeah.
Like, fuck
Yeah.
fuck off. So, I love New Vegas. I'm still playing it now. I highly doubt I will finish it anytime in the near future, but that game is just so much fucking fun, and the DLCs are amazing. But if I were to compare it to Dark Souls, I had more fun playing Dark Souls.
I'm not necessarily going to say cut any of the ones that you've fallen in love with this year. I don't need to do that to you yet.
The thing is, I didn't play Bloodborne this year. That
Well,
was
Matt
last
did.
year, so I don't have any say in that.
Matt did. Matt Platinumed it.
Yeah,
As you should.
I
Yeah.
fell in love with that thing for a good month and
Yeah.
a half.
Yeah.
It's a really good game.
All right, then I'm gonna fall on some shit here. So I think Skate 3 is fucking great.
There, thank
Yeah.
you.
I mean that's the move there.
That's how you play.
But it's something I've been kind of like passively going at, and honestly, you know, like Jim Ryan says, who plays old games anyway?
If this was called the "Fuck You, Jim Ryan," I
know.
would put Skate 3 on top of the list.
Are you when you play that game? Are you like just hopping in and playing, or are you like actually like doing?
I mean, I've been progressing through the story, but honestly, it's
that looks like a game like I just want to like play for half an hour, do
Yeah.
that's
couple
all it
kick
is.
flips, and
That's
then
it.
Yeah.
That's it. But it feels good to play, and I'm enjoying it.
you
Halo,
take a couple laps.
yes.
Yeah, I want to hear about Halo.
Halo Combat Evolved. I wrote an article a few weeks back on the website, or whenever it was. You can go read it. It's at freesheets.com. About Halo and me kind of re-entering that Xbox ecosystem. And Halo is kind of like letting me relive a childhood I never had in a way, where there was this kind of like, there was a shift. Like when I was in middle school, an Xbox came out where I was getting too cool for Nintendo, so GameCube was neat, but I didn't jump on it because I was cool. I was grown up now, you know? I watched Road Trip on DVD. Oh, the unrated edition with extra boobs. I know. And while I was at that age where I was like becoming myself, and I was you know, growing up and I was feeling all those things, I still did not feel like I was cool enough for the Xbox. The Xbox was like the other end of something. It was just, it's a fucking Mountain Dew commercial. Like that's the Xbox to me. And I was never one of those guys in the Mountain. I was drinking the Mountain Dew. I could have that. I was okay with that. You know, everybody loved a good old 2-liter Surge every now and then, but I didn't have it flowing through me the same way. And this is kind of like letting me go back and feel those feelings again. And it's a cool thing. Like I think if anything, playing a game can be a representation of its time, and it kind of returns you back to, I don't know, like there's certain things where you go back to it and it's a reflection of, you listen to a certain album and it's like,
Yeah.
it might contextually make sense today, but you look at it through the lens of where it came from, and you know that like that album makes sense because the writer was living in this time and going through this thing. And I think Halo Combat Evolved is evocative of those same ideals, where it's just, that is very much a creature of its time. It still has relevance today, obviously, but I think it also says so much about 2001.
Yeah. It definitely like stood out with me. It's like when G4 was at its prime.
Yeah.
So like Xbox was becoming big, and that was, you know, one of the shows, and you know, just playing multiplayer games like that opened it up. Like before that was like kind of like GoldenEye,
Yeah.
maybe Twisted Metal, like not too many bigger games out there, and like Xbox just like Halo just took that spotlight and fucking ran with it for 2 games at least. Well, I guess 3, but by the time Halo 3 came out, it was more multiplayer shooters. But
Now I kind of want to keep it on the list.
Yeah, I mean the thing with Halo, I didn't realize how attached I was to that game until I saw you just for those 30 seconds playing it because I knew exactly where you were.
Yeah.
I noticed the frame rate difference. I was like, why is that game? Oh, that's right, because it's 60 frames. Like, I forgot how attached I was to that game at that time. I didn't even own an Xbox. It was my friend. He had the Xbox, and we would just go play. Now I played more Halo 2 and 3 than I did the first one. But one weekend I did borrow his Xbox when he was on vacation. And I played through the first one. I fucking just really love that game. And you even gotten to a certain enemy type where, yeah, that's a good gaming moment when that happens.
We shall see. All right, we gotta start cutting shit. We've talked about everything.
All right, so I have 2 heavy hitters going into this.
Yeah, you got Rocket League and Bloodborne.
I'm gonna fall on a sword.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's gonna be one you like. I'm gonna say Bloodborne.
No, it's fine. Bloodborne's had its due.
Okay.
If I played that this year, I would fight to the death because that's my favorite game.
No, Bloodborne is so fucking good.
The only thing I'm afraid about Bloodborne is just how much it's loved. It's like tunnel vision immediately. As soon as that word pops up, nothing else fucking matters, and it's like that's scary to me.
Yeah. It's a really good game. Like I think we said it enough on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's just like I look at Rocket League. How many times did you guys buy these games this year? Once?
Yeah, I know.
I bought it twice this year.
Yeah.
I bought it on Steam and Switch. Like,
yeah.
And it's something I play it like at least one match a week. And like when I fall back into that phase, like it's something I might play for an hour every day. Like there is just so many matches of Rocket League that I have played this year, and it is not a phase. It's just something that kind of sticks there. And like I don't know when I dogs at the dogs for Joe. That I had to make room for the games I wanted on his console. Like, one of the games I had to delete was Rocket League, and it kind of was like, I kind of like killed a child. It did not feel good to delete that game at all. I love that game, and I just still keep playing it from the day it's been released.
It stays. Ben. WoW, Dark Souls, Fallout New Vegas. So the list, for the listener, just to update you while Ben thinks on which one to kill. Right now our list reads Dark Souls, Fallout New Vegas, Quake Live, Rocket League, Halo, Combat Evolved, and World of Warcraft.
You know, I'm going to put my foot in my mouth for next year because I would be playing Bloodborne by then. And now I know I'm going to talk about it for this. and it would maybe win.
That's all right. It can win next year.
It'll be back.
Because I'll finally play the Old Hunters DLC, and then we'll really be.
Oh, yeah, I got to play that too.
See?
I dived into that a little bit.
I know. I know. Focus on the category at hand. I know.
You know what? Okay, if I'm gonna cut WoW.
Oops. Okay.
If I were to pick between Fallout and Dark Souls, I would pick Dark Souls.
Wow.
Did we cut Quake? Is Quake the other weak link here?
Quake, again, 10 out of 10 multiplayer fucking game, dude. It's not much of a steep learning curve.
But I'm not.
How many? We did play it that one day.
It was like an hour though. That was the only.
And
time
I've played it. I've played it a couple other times and I've had a good time, but I'm not like constantly going back to that. And I think Halo is more important to me than. I mean, Quake's
going to be there. It's not going to go anywhere.
I still love like. I've been doing it since last year around this time when I first picked up Quake Live. I love putting on fucking Metallica and just playing Quake Live. It takes me to a different world in a way that nothing else can or will. But I think in terms of like the best experience, I think Halo is doing something different for me. I think Rocket League is something where like that became your esport.
Joe just dabbed.
And I think Dark Souls, like, it opened up a new light for you, where Bloodborne closed one.
Yeah, that's, like, this is going to sound lame, but Dark Souls was there for me when I needed another Bloodborne. So it was the perfect one for me.
Our top 3 are Dark Souls, Rocket League, and Halo Combat Evolved. This is where knives come out.
I'm not even involved in this.
You don't want to be involved.
Which is why Mark is going to decide.
I'm the one with the axe.
Judge, jury, executioner.
Daredevil?
I feel pretty good about my argument on Halo. Just saying.
I'm going to be nice. I got Rocket League to the top 3 on a very hefty list. It's already had a good year. You know, I was begging for March.
You've given the most dedication to this. This is what, 3 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, just about.
Continued effort.
I mean, from March, I kept saying Rocket League's the perfect game on Switch. Rocket League's the perfect game on Switch. Then E3 comes, the fucking footage of the ball and the battle cars going around. I start kind of maybe flipping out on the couch because I can't believe the dream's coming true. And then it comes out a couple weeks ago. Look, it's not the best version of that game, but it's a good version of that game, and it's the best portable version of that game. So,
yeah.
Like, when my dog is howling or barking downstairs because no one's home. Yeah. All right, time to play Rocket League downstairs now.
Is it weird that, like, Halo is the only one that actually seems old to me?
That's because
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it was what, 2001?
Yeah, but Dark Souls is like 5 years old at this point. Which is also
I know, it
crazy.
just doesn't feel
Is it really
I know.
5 years? Is it only 5?
See, when I played it, it didn't feel too old. And then, like, I thought it, because when I first played it, it was like, oh, it was like 2012.
The first Dark Souls was on PS3, right?
Yeah, PS3, Xbox.
Yeah.
Because I have it on 360, actually. I just never played it.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, it was like, what, Dark Souls 2, then Bloodborne, then Dark Souls 3?
It's actually 6 years old, yeah. 2011. Anyway.
So, well, it's out of these 3, it's safe to say years down the road, Rocket League is still going to be the one that's, like, played.
And you know what? And, like, see, like, I know like, how Mark's saying, like, he's going to play Bloodborne, like, next year. Like, I have a feeling as long as I'm on this podcast and as long as I have access to Rocket League, like, Rocket is going to keep popping up in this category. Like, it's just that game that I'd never put down for more than maybe a couple weeks.
So what are we saying here?
It's tough because I want to say Dark Souls, you want to say Halo, and Matt wants to say Rocket League, but it's all valid
I'm
reasons.
going to step away. I'll let
All right,
Dark
so between
Souls.
Halo and Dark Souls, what do we feel is the...
By friendship.
No. I like you heard my argument for why I think Halo is still culturally relevant in today and kind of where it was able to transport me. Why is Dark Souls the best old game that we played this year?
Well, I did play Halo, but it was kind of unfair. I played it on the PC demo.
Oh, that weird Windows 7 thing?
Not
Windows 7.
It was still XP.
Yeah.
It was still XP, and it was the same thing. It was why am I playing this? I have Counter-Strike. So,
It's a fair argument.
God damn it. I'm just...
Well, you're not playing the multiplayer, right? You're playing the campaign.
I've done a little bit of the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the multiplayer in that, it's like...
It's a little different.
It's blends. It's not like
Which-
combat involved multiplayer.
Which is fair, because I didn't really fuck with the Dark Souls multiplayer.
Mm.
I just did straight single player. Like, there was a moment or two when, like, someone invaded my world and I knocked the living fuck out of them.
Hell yeah, you did. Woo!
All right, but do you feel like right now, if someone were to go to thefreecheese.com and say, I'm looking for an old game to play, which one should I dive into? Considering, not taking into consideration that let's assume they have access to anything. What's the one that we want to say right now? This is the one we played this year that makes the biggest impact in 2017. The one that, like, dude, you gotta fucking play it.
See, but, like,
That's where I could see Dark Souls being the argument.
I would still say Dark Souls.
It's because it's more
You know what I
relevant.
mean?
Matt, you feel good on Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Your best old game that we played this year, Dark Souls. With your runners-up, Rocket League and Halo Combat Evolved.
This is one of those... It's one of those tough ones because each game on the list, it was like...
I mean,
each had a
once we
story
got
about
to
it,
6,
you know
Yo,
yeah.
we're talking about good games. That's all.
All
that
good games
matters.
here.
That's it.
There you go, From Software. You're still in there.
Yeah, girl. There's your day 3 in the cam. We're gonna recap the winners of each category, and then we're getting out here, and we'll see you tomorrow. But your 2017-2016 game of the year, Hitman, with the runners-up Dead by Daylight and Ratchet and Clank. Your best remaster goes to Crash Bandicoot: The Insane Trilogy and Metroid: Samus Returns, with runner-up the Nonary games. Your hottest mess goes to Electronic Arts, with runners-up Jim Ryan and Nintendo Switch Online. Best DLC or expansion is End of Zoe in Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, with runners-up Super Bomberman R's Konami Characters and Expansion and the Spark of Madness in Dead by Daylight. And your best old game that we played this year is Dark Souls. The runners-up Rocket League, Halo Combat Evolved. That's it for day 3. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, listener, for listening. Come back, see us later today with some video stuff. Come back tomorrow for day 4 of our awards, including Best Story, Most Surprising, Best Marketing, Favorite Free Cheese Moment, and Favorite Industry Moment. We'll see you then.